So every company out there is in this mad dash to harness the power of AI. But what if the biggest challenge isn't the tech at all? What if it's really all about the people? Let's dive into how one company, Boston Consulting Group, is rewriting its entire talent playbook for the age of AI. And they're putting people and trust right at the very center of it all. And that really is the heart of the matter, isn't it? You can have the most sophisticated AI on the planet, but if your employees don't trust it, or if they just don't feel confident using it, you're not going to see any real impact. So, the billion-dollar question is, how do you build that bridge of trust? All right, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with the people puzzle of AI, then we'll look directly at BCG's playbook. From there, we'll unpack the promise of trust that makes it all click, see how the manager's role is changing, and finally, we'll lay out your first steps into this new world. Okay, first up, the people puzzle of AI. It's honestly kind of wild how fast this whole conversation has shifted from AI being this mysterious, maybe even scary thing, to a tool that's becoming a core part of how we get work done every single day. I mean, the speed of this is just incredible. Think about it. Just a year ago, we were all talking about AI in these vague, abstract terms like hallucinations and black boxes. Flash forward to today, and the conversation is so much more practical. It's about reshaping our workflows and making sure these tools are actually human-centered. And this isn't just talk. Look at the numbers from BCG. A whopping 90% of their employees are using AI. But what's even more telling is that half of them, 50%, are habitual users. That means AI isn't just a toy they dabble with, it's a core part of their daily routine. Believe me, that kind of adoption doesn't happen by accident. So how they do it? Let's get into BCG's AI talent playbook. And you know what? They did something really bold. They went straight for one of the most human and, let's be honest, often stressful processes in any company, the performance review. Why? Well, because if you can prove that AI can help responsibly there, you've just built a massive foundation of trust. But here's the thing you have to understand. This was not just about making things faster. The goal wasn't simply to save managers a few hours writing reviews. No, it was about fundamentally improving the quality of the feedback itself and, more importantly, freeing up managers to become better coaches. So let's break down how this AI agent actually works. First, a manager just dumps in their raw notes. The good, the bad, all of it. The AI then whips up a pretty solid first draft. But here's the magic part. The AI then prompts the manager to make it even better. It asks them to think about things like recency bias or to add more specific examples. The result? The manager is guided to write a fairer, more helpful review, and all that time they saved is now time they can spend on actual human-to-human coaching. Now, you can build the coolest tool in the world, but it's useless if people don't trust it. And that brings us to the bedrock of BCG's entire strategy, a clear promise of trust in the framework they built for using AI responsibly in HR. They call it the AI Talent Promise, and it's a very clear, very public commitment that any AI tool they use for their people has to be responsible. And, this is key, a human is always in the driver's seat, accountable for the final outcome. No more of that black box mystery. The promise is built around this acronym, TALENT. T is for transparent, so you know how it works. A for accountable, a person is always responsible. L for learning enabled, so the tools actually help you improve. E for ethical. N for notified, you're always told when AI is being used. And finally, T for trustworthy. And this isn't just some corporate jargon on a slide. Think of it like a social contract with every single employee. And really, the whole philosophy boils down to this one powerful line from BCG's Global People Chair Alicia Pittman. Trust drives adoption. Adoption drives impact. It's that simple. It's a straight line. If you don't have trust, you've got nothing. So does this actually work in the real world? Well, remember the N for notified? It means employees actually have to opt in to have AI assist with their reviews. And the data is clear. The vast majority choose to do it. They aren't just putting up with it. They're actively asking for it. Now that's what trust looks like in practice. And the benefits go beyond just trust. They hit job satisfaction too. A full 73% of BCG employees say they enjoy their work more when they're using AI. This is a huge deal because it flips the whole narrative. For them, AI isn't a threat. It's a tool that makes their work more engaging and fulfilling. But sometimes it's the personal stories that hit the hardest. Check out this quote from an employee. They
They said Gen AI helps me at the loneliest hours of the day. Just think about that for a second. That feeling of staring at a blank page. For this person, AI has become a creative partner, like a buddy to help them get started.
So all of this naturally leads to a huge shift for leaders. Let's talk about the new role of managers, because it's really moving away from just connecting the dots to something much more exciting, sparking creativity. If you think about it, before AI, a giant chunk of a manager's time was tied up in admin work, managing workflows, passing along information, basically being a human switchboard. Well, AI can handle a lot of that now. And that frees managers up to focus on the deeply human, high-value stuff, sparking new ideas, developing their people, and really truly motivating their teams. It's a fundamental shift from being a human router to being a human spark plug. So what's left for us humans? Well, it's the most important stuff. Things like setting the vision, the big objectives, fostering real human collaboration, and driving creativity. These aren't just the tasks that are left over. In a world with AI, the value of these uniquely human skills actually goes way, way up. The machines can assist, but we have to lead. Okay, so this all sounds great, but where do you actually start? That brings us to our final section, a clear path to getting started on your own AI journey. The big message from BCG's Playbook is pretty clear. On the strategy side, start focused, but you have to start now. Waiting is just too risky. Run responsible pilots, learn as fast as you can, and then scale what works. And on the people side, which is even more important, upskill your teams broadly, invite them to help you build the solutions, and just keep the lines of communication wide open. You know, inside BCG, they have this really simple motto that sums up their whole goal with AI. More triumph, less toil. It's all about automating the frustrating, repetitive stuff so that people can focus on the big wins, the achievements that really matter. And that really leaves us with one last big question for you to think about. The technology is here. It's here to take away the toil from our work. So the real question for every single leader, for every team is this: what triumph will you create?